And just like that, we're back. Good morning, USA. Actually, that'd be fun to be an anchor host for the news. But this is not Good Morning America or whatever. This is the Awesoming Podcast. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Awesoming's Podcast, where we highlight people pursuing their definition of, you guessed it, awesome. So buckle up and get ready for some more success story adventures and failures from Kentucky's tech and entrepreneur community. Hey guys, welcome back to this episode of the Awesoming Podcast. This one is going to be as different as we've ever had, and I'm really excited about it. So I'm sitting across our nice marble podcast table with my buddy Kevin J. Mansur.
That's exactly right. Did you know that, or did you look at something?
No, I know that's your middle name.
That's good for you. That's great.
But it's J-A-Y, not J period.
That's right.
Which, actually, that'd be interesting if you change that. Anyways, we're going to be talking about something we've never talked about on this podcast before, and that is a couple things that we discuss when we go to speak to large groups. So they could be adults, maybe from a chamber of commerce in another city that come to Lexington, or when we go to a college or a high school class. There are a couple of concepts that we speak that we find very, very consistent with entrepreneurs and people who are going after their definition of awesome. But first, Kevin, tell me something cool that's happening here around the Awesoming space.
Well, if you haven't been down to our space in the last, say 3 months, you would not know, or maybe you would, that we just got done with a pretty extensive renovation on the second story of our building. We put in some new private offices, some new co-working space. Some of us call it different things. The loft, outer space,
If they just heard that sneeze, that would be impressive. So someone just had a heart attack. Oh, there it is again. Okay, I'm going to listen back to this. And if you can't hear that sneeze, I might just add one. But whoever just sneezed, I thought they just exploded. That was impressive.
Not even mad.
I'm not mad about it.
I'm impressed.
Me too.
But no, if you haven't been down here lately, it is a brand new space. It's really, really exciting because if you had been down to Awesome Inc. in the last few years, you knew that our second story is where we have our boot campers when they're here with us for the 12 weeks out of their 16-week boot camp program. But a lot of that space was just old, not nearly as nice as it is now. So we're super, super excited for that new space being renovated.
And shout out to Rubicon for the couch they provided us, which is where they started their company.
Yeah, the donation of the comfortable leather couch that was down in their Atlanta headquarters when they were in Georgia. But when they moved back up here to Lexington into City Center, they graciously
said, "This belongs to you guys."
Of course. It's red and it's perfect and it's actually mighty comfortable.
It is. So Nate Morris and team, thanks for starting your amazing company. I should have said awesome company. So your awesome company and being so generous to put your founding roots back into a space that supports entrepreneurs and helps other companies grow. So with that, come down to our space, come get a tour. Kevin would be elated to see you. And as always, I have been buying a lot of cups of coffee when people email me from listening to the episodes. So I'm going to keep that up. So pay attention. We'll find out. So what sparked this interest for this episode? We're going to talk about a couple concepts. We're going to talk about some of the Awesome Inc. core values and a concept we call the luck surface area. And that's what this episode name is going to be about. And the reason that we're having this conversation is because the last couple of weeks, so we are well into the year 2022, and the last couple of weeks when various members of our team have either given tours or gone out and just done work that we're required to, and networking, which is normal, or we go to a group or whatever, we talk about some of these things at Awesome Inc. that are very normal to us. And we're very grateful for our core values and why we do things. And sometimes we say things that almost come across as a different language to people. And they're like, whoa, I really like that. Or I've never thought about this, or something along those lines. And I was actually speaking to a group of University of Kentucky students in a business enterprise course or pathway. And I just had this idea that we should sit down and share some of our proprietary information, which is not really that proprietary. We're not, it's not a trademark secret. an effort to talk a bit more about why we do things and the mindset behind it, just wanted to give a little insight to some of the Awesome Inc. Again, heartbeat from where we come from, but also how we know we can help people. So to kick things off, if you've never been to our space, your invitation is welcome. We would love to have you. We also would love to have you come and meet some of the startups that work from our space and just be immersed in the culture and in the environment, which is great. But one of the favorite things that I get to remind people of often, and whenever we give a tour, Kevin, what is the first thing we do when we bring somebody in?
Yeah, the first thing that you're going to notice when you walk into our building, either door, either entrance, you're going to see the 4 core values posted big, large, bright, easy to see, and that's extremely intentional. We believe that our core values, like you were saying, the heartbeat, but it's really who we are. It's why we exist. Everything we've ever done, starting 13 years ago, everything we're currently doing, and everything that we plan to do,
in the future,
1,000 years down the road, is filtered and launched off of these four core values.
And we tell people, we do mean this literally, by the way. If Awesome Inc. were to burn down, Zeus sends out a lightning bolt, whatever, that'd be awesome if Zeus sends out a lightning bolt. If you're a mythology fan, hey, we'll hang out sometime. But if something tragic were to happen, we could not operate from our space, or there's a massive fire or flood or something, and we had to grab a few things, our 4 core values would be the first 4 and maybe the only 4 things we grab. Mm-hmm. Or if we shut down in a week and we said, hey, let's open a pizzeria across the street.
We've been saying this pizza thing for a long time, and I kind of want to.
So if anybody wants to start Awesome Pizza out there,
we're in,
and we'll make a signature pie.
Yeah, I'd love to learn how to toss some dough.
That'd be cool. We could do that. Yeah. We'll figure it out. But back to the core values. So we have 4 of them: be good, be excellent, be a friend, and be you. Kevin, I love when you give tours that you really lay into why we have these. So would you talk about the first? Talk about the first one, and then we'll just ping pong.
Sure. And the side note, when I do give a tour of the space, I probably spend more time on the core values than any of the other stops, because again, these 4 things are the most important 4 things to us. The first core value is be good. This might sound super obvious and easy to understand. You may think you're good, or a lot of people say, well, that's pretty self-explanatory. But here at Awesome Inc., we always want to be people of integrity. We not only hold ourselves to high, working standards, but just high moral and character standards as well. We're going to be people that practice honesty. We want to be people that are trustworthy. Everything we do comes out of good intention. It's not, what can we do to make Awesome Inc., bigger, stronger, more money, reach more people. It's, hey, what can we do that's good for the community? Also it benefits Awesome Inc., but what are we doing to be good people and good stewards of all of our resources? Mm-hmm. And that's, in a nutshell, that's really what it is.
Yeah, and I was telling some students I was speaking with recently that our team will fluctuate depending on if maybe someone's out from maternity leave or someone's on an extended vacation, or we have a lot of interns in a semester. We have a team that we're friends outside of the workplace. So when we have a cookout in the summer, you're going to see most of our team there. We're not that work environment where we all secretly despise each other. And so to do life well and work well together, we realize we need to have character, integrity, and everything you just said. Yeah,
and this is the first core value because it is the most fundamental. It is the most important core value. All of these core values are in a specific order for a specific reason. And if you can't do number 1, be good, then 2, 3, and 4 really don't matter.
Sense. Yeah. Secondly, we have be excellence, and this is one of my favorites. The graphic we have is an arrow busting through a box, and for a comedic standpoint, I always try to make the analogy of in either 21 or 22 Jump Street when Channing Tatum's like busting through the ceiling, with his fist. I say that, and usually the younger crowd will laugh. So if you chuckled, I appreciate it. You should let me know. But one of the things that people know about in our city is Awesome Inc. does a lot of cool events, and we take cool trips, and we have great stuff we post on social media, and people see the fun and ridiculous times we have, but they don't always see the work that goes into meeting with startup founders or talking with VCs or giving tours of the space to potential companies that are moving across the state or moving to Kentucky or a number of other things. And so we want our work to be second to none. And this is one of the things I've driven home a lot to younger audiences, because a lot of people they'll coast by and they'll come to this talk or they'll come to this class for extra credit, but they don't understand by showing up or doing something that might not be comfortable, that's going to give you another opportunity that someone else might not have. And I'm touching upon the next topic a little bit, but for being excellent, we want the work we do to not have any questions, but we also want the work we do to be hard and to be excellent. And therefore we will party and play hard and have fun.
Yeah. We always say that, people don't like to talk about it, but if we ever lose at anything, or if we don't win a deal, or you name it, if we're in second place for some reason, it's not going to be because we didn't try hard enough. We're always going to give 110% at everything we do, whether it's, painting a wall or building a custom website for someone. Be excellent means giving that project, that initiative, your 100%. No matter how big or small. And
we have painted a lot of walls in this space. When you said that, I just thought back, wow, we've had so many makeovers. Side note, if you've never seen Awesome Inc. in person, it's pretty sweet right now. We are very much branded. Way back when the walls were Shrek green and Colonel Mustard yellow from the game Clue, and it was just a nightmare. Okay. Anyways, we're past that. Number 3, be a friend. Kevin, why don't you chime in?
Yeah. So this one is one of my favorites. Now they're all great, but this one just really hits home for me because, if you've ever been in business or a part of a club or part of a team, really just a group of individuals, you understand that working together and treating other people with respect and with kindness, and showing empathy towards others is really one of the biggest tools you could have in your pocket to be successful. We talk about the power of our network all the time. You don't really have a healthy network if you're a jerk to people, or if people know that you're only out for your own personal gain. We believe being a friend means celebrating success, whether that's ours or whether that's someone else's. We actually have a really neat red success bell here in the space that we like to use to celebrate other people. And when other people hit cool milestones or benchmarks, or they achieve a great goal, hey, Awesome Inc. and the people around you, we want to be the first to say congratulations, pat you on the back, give you a high five, make you eat a sleeve of Oreos, or, just make you feel celebrated. And that's just part of being a good friend, is just recognizing when either people need to be celebrated or when people need help with something or need a shoulder to lean on or anything like that. And this ties really into core value number 1, being good. If you're good, then, hopefully you're good to the people around you, and you're being a great friend.
Yeah. Another thing that comes to mind when you say that, Kev, is for being a friend, sometimes that looks like giving either potential business away or saying, hey, we're not the right fit, let us help you. Hey, if you need an office and that we can accommodate for, go to Base 110. Hey, if you're not at the level maybe of some of our programming, there's something maybe for UK, or here's a resource here in Louisville, and being aware and being okay with that. And one of the things that we really believe in, that I would say any successful entrepreneur or entrepreneurial community does, is they know the give before you get mentality. And so that does go into being a friend as well. And then core value number 4, my personal favorite, is be you. And we say, as long as you're being good, being excellent, being a friend, you can be as weird, as silly, as goofy, as Disney loving, shout out Brian Rainey, as sarcastic, whatever, I might have said that, as you want to be. Because we say, if you're good, you're excellent, and you're a friend, you're welcome with whatever you're going to bring. I always add the caveat, just bring hygiene, because that makes everyone want to be around you.
Yeah, and we talked earlier about the order of these core values. Number 1 being good, number 2 being excellent, 3 be a friend. Number 4 is be you, because if you cannot be good, if you don't care about being excellent, or you you're fine cutting corners. You're fine giving 75% when everyone else is giving 100, and you're just a jerk to the people around you. You're not easy to work with, or you don't respect other people. Then we don't want you to be you, if that's what that means. Number 4 is number 4 because you have to go through number 1. You have to go through number 2. You have to go through number 3 in order to earn the right to be number 4, which is being yourself.
Yeah, and one of the things too with our community, they're all these core values. When you see them, they have these little taglines or maybe subheadings underneath them. And one of my favorite things we have here at the space for core value number 4 specifically says, "Game will attract game." And when you are a successful basketball player, you're going to hang out with other high-skilled, high-achieving, talented basketball players. When you're a really successful entrepreneur and you know your mission, you know what you're working towards, you're not necessarily going to invite distractions into your life that will prohibit that or take your focus away. So you're going to put yourself in an environment to win and put people around you that help push that. So those are a couple of our core values. Actually, those are all our core values. I don't know why I said a couple. Those are our 4 core values. And the reason I wanted to reiterate these is simply because a lot of the people we've been talking with, people just seem like they're having mental clicks when they're like, wow, it makes sense why you guys do what you do and how you're still here and why haven't I ever heard of you? Oh my gosh, this is incredible. And shout out to one of our former guests on the show, Steve Pottinger. He's a good friend. He's a goofball. So go give him a high five if you ever see him at Taco Tico or downtown. But he has come to the space now 3 or 4 times, and he's actually been giving tours with the people he brings into our space.
We have no idea when he's doing it. He'll just do it. It's great.
So it's really sweet. And again, with all these core values, just giving a foundation of why Awesome Inc. is the way we are, like why our team thinks the way we are, why we do things in certain manners, even if they're goofy or even if they're different. We want to be here to help people pursue their definition of awesome, number 1, but we also want to exist to make Kentucky a much more exciting, a much more awesome place to live and work by helping entrepreneurs and the community build more successful startups and be more collaborative overall. And so with that being said, this is going to bleed into where we're going next, which is, again, something we call the luck surface area. Kevin, how many times in your life have people said, "Oh, you're just so lucky"?
Yeah, I'm one of the luckiest people I know, not only because I'm friends with you, Garrett.
Wow, I feel honored.
No, a lot of why I'm lucky and why you're lucky and why a lot of people are lucky is because of what we're going to talk about next. This luck surface area. But yeah, I mean, I'm extremely fortunate to have a great, beautiful wife and a awesome, healthy 18-month-old, and work with all of my closest friends and being able to do life with the people I work with, and I've got a ton going for me, which is great. I'm not trying to sound, I don't know, cocky or arrogant or whatever.
You sound thankful.
Yeah, I mean, I'm extremely grateful, and I think a lot of the people around me, are why I am the way I am, and I thank them for a lot of the opportunities I've had. But yeah, this luck surface area and the idea of luck is something that we talk a lot about, especially in college classrooms when we go present, because your skills are going to get you, so far. Yeah, your computer science degree, your business degree, or whatever degree, it might get your foot in the door somewhere maybe, but a lot of your success will come from luck and who and how you treat people and everything else, which you can go ahead and touch on now.
Yeah, well, I appreciate the permission, Lloyd. We like Dumb and Dumber
a lot.
Yeah, we do. In terms of the luck surface area, I wanted to ask Kevin, hey, how often do people say you're lucky? I have a couple of friends that I feel whenever someone hears what's going on in their life, the immediate response is, "Well, you're so lucky. Like, I can't believe this, yada, yada, yada." And the funny thing is, like, people don't realize that you can create your own luck for the most part. There are those outliers like Shaq and LeBron James and just people who have been gifted in freakish ways, but they also have a work ethic. So I'm not going to deny that. But so many people, they know the phrase in life, it's not about what you know, but
who you know.
And I like that. Who you know. It could be a song. But for our team, we realized that's actually about 50% of the truth. It's actually who knows you and what they think of you. And I love telling students that, and I say students, that could be someone who's 12 all the way to 25. So I love telling people that sentence and watching their eyes almost lose a glaze. They're like, I've never thought of that. And sometimes I'll talk about, hey, like if you ever had an ex-boyfriend or girlfriend, do you still think, would you refer them to a job? Would you want them to go on a family vacation with you or a friendly vacation? And you're going to say no. But if your best friend or your brother-in-law, whomever, if they need a job and you have a connection and you like them, you are probably going to refer them. Mm-hmm. And it's because you think highly of them. Mm-hmm. So when we tell students this, we talk about creating your own luck. And as entrepreneurs, we know that if you can have somebody introduce you and if you go into a conversation with an attitude of how can we both mutually benefit one another, let's figure this out. And you understand there's a value in helping people and serving. So this luck service area is something I wish I would have learned in college, and I learned past. I'm going to tell a story I didn't plan to, but when I was a senior at the University of Kentucky, I went to a career fair and ran to the team at Awesome Inc. And if you haven't figured out that we are lunatics in the best way, we bring banner ups and Oreos and Nerf guns. Maybe I need to say Nerf blasters to keep it clean. But we bring a lot of fun stuff and games. And I mentioned Oreos, I believe. And I walked into this career fair. I pick up a Nerf gun and I shoot my friend Keith with a Nerf dart, by the way, right in the face. It was awesome. And, caught his attention. We laughed, we caught up. And because Keith and I already had a good rapport for about 2.5 years, when he looked down at me and said, "Oh, you're dressed up. Oh, you have resumes in hand. Yeah, you must be here for a job. Let me introduce you to Brian." So one, Keith thought highly of me. So therefore he connected me with somebody and gave me a warm introduction. Like, this is the same stuff that we tell students. And if you're listening right now and you're like, yeah, of course, that's so obvious, you'd be surprised how many people we come across that they don't recognize that.
Well, they may recognize it, but they don't execute on it.
Yeah, that's probably a better way to say it. Yeah,
it's like,
this is why I need you, Kevin.
No joke. I know that you're gonna need people to help you get from A to B or B to C, but it's one thing to know it, but then it's one thing to actually act upon it. Go introduce yourself to someone. Keep up with people that you need to keep up with. Those friends in college, those classmates you have, those professors. Having a good rapport with them is important. And whether that means you just send them an email once a month or text or go grab a cup of coffee or who knows, watch a game with them.
Yeah.
Those things really do matter, and they really do come in pretty beneficial when you need them to.
Yes, they do. And again, talking about relationships and connecting, we then will show a graph. So if you are able to right now, I want you to raise your right hand. Kevin, we're going to do this. Let's give it so silly. Raise your right hand straight up towards the sky and grab that cloud, maybe give Zeus a fist bump. I like Hercules, by the way, the Disney cartoon Hercules, one of the best soundtracks. So if I make silly references, that's why. And then if you can, stick your left arm out straight. So you're going to be making an L, a 90-degree angle. And I want you to think about your right hand as the y-axis is, the number of people the number of people in your network. And your left hand that's going way, way out there is about the amount of stuff you do. So if you can imagine somebody in life who, they only know a few people and they only do a few things, they're going to have a pretty small area on this graph, so to speak. And what we often will show students is, hey, might be like your average college freshman. They have a couple squares covered in this grid. They'll go to class and they'll go watch Netflix, and they know the 3 people in their hall, and they'll call their parents. And then we might have someone who is either a UK athlete, and again, I'm just speaking from a UK standpoint because we talked to them pretty recently, or you might have someone who is very well known in the Greek life scene, and they might do their one thing very, very well, and they might know a lot of people, but if they don't do a lot of stuff or they don't try a lot of new things, then they're only going to have, a pretty straight or pretty vertical level of luck. And so we say, every job opportunity, every guy or girl a person could date, every vacation, every internship, every whatever will come from within this area of luck. And our goal is we want to encourage people. And this is why entrepreneurs are so crucial for any society, any culture, any fill in the word I'm looking for, any community. Yeah. It's because they realize, hey, if I have a product or a service or a good, and I can meet a need or I can solve a problem, I want to talk to as many people as I possibly can, and I want to go do stuff. I want to go to Colorado and snowboard, and I want to see if I can meet anybody on the slopes. I'm going to go out when I go to Kroger, and I'm going to stock up on produce. I want to be kind and talk to the people that are next to me. I'm going to be a human being. Or if I'm going to a networking event, I'm just going to go and see how I can help somebody.
Yeah.
But by doing all that stuff, you create more luck, so to speak, because you're getting to meet more people, you're getting to do more stuff, and you never know. And I literally say this, and I'm going to go back to my story. You never know about where your next job or relationship comes from. And, the reason I started working at Awesome Inc., it's because at this career fair back in 2017 or 2018, whatever it was, is Keith walks up to Brian and says, "Hey, Brian, this is my buddy Garrett. He sells the best weed at UK." And he just walks away. And I never met Brian. That was the longest 2 to 3 seconds of my life as I'm shaking this man's hand. I'm like,
well, did you sell the best weed?
Kevin, you'll never know. But to that point, because Keith, again, thought highly of me, and I put myself in a position to go try something new. Here we are months later.
Yeah.
From that result.
So I've got a cool piggyback story on that.
Yes, please piggyback. Well, even for you, I'm going to cut in, tell your story, but even to know you in the last year, this is your third job in the last year
because of, and this is the story I'm going to tell. So back in, I'm trying to remember what, 2018, 2019, maybe. We're now in 2022, but I think it was back in the summer of either 2018 or 2019, me and some friends, one of them being Brian Rainey, founder and CEO of Awesome Inc. We were on a vacation in Hawaii, and I'd never been. It was awesome. We had a great group of friends down there with us. Some of the Awesome Inc. team was down there with us. I was still working, in a different job, not at Awesome Inc. at the time, and I was in the middle of my career, and it was great. And I remember waking up one morning, and Luke Murray, one of
the co-founders.
Yeah, one of our co-founders at Awesome Inc.
The reason we're named Awesome Inc. is because he was the name guy.
Yeah. So one of the founders of Awesome Inc. was there sleeping on our couch, and I had met him a couple times, but I had never really spent extended time or really talked to him, super in depth. And I remember walking out, and I'm drinking a cup of coffee on the back patio. He's inside sleeping, and I'm just out there by myself. It's early in the morning. And about 10 minutes of being by myself, he walks out with a cup of coffee, and we just sit down and we just start talking. And he just starts asking me questions about life and, how I like my job and, why do I do what I do, and all sorts of fun, deep questions. If you've ever met Luke, it gets real deep, real fast.
Yeah. Most people like to ease into the water. He's like, I'm going to dive headfirst and off the high dive into 12 feet.
He's coming in like a freight train, which I appreciate. I actually really, really liked it. Needless to say, that conversation led to me now working at Awesome Inc., 2-3 years later. And I remember when I, was first, introduced to this job at Awesome Inc., he references back to that 15-minute 7:30 a.m. conversation on the back porch of a house in Hawaii. And he was like, hey, that moment 2-3 years ago is when I knew we got to get you involved somehow. And yeah, I mean, it all goes back to who you know, what you do, why you do it. And you never know when a 15-minute conversation is going to lead to bettering your life.
It's funny. I know as we're talking, this makes a lot of sense to us. And again, we're talking really just about Awesome Inc. culture and a couple of things that we either feel like work really well for our team, the people we come across in life. But someone might have heard this for the first time, and hopefully that was a step in the right direction or the next direction for them. So we're going to go ahead and wrap up here and say that you are always welcome at Awesome Inc. We're going to be your friend. 348 East Main Street. Come on down. We might even buy you a cup of coffee. Yeah. I think so.
Play a game of ping pong?
Yeah, play a game of ping pong, give you some Oreos, give you a tour. And just know you're welcome. And again, if you are trying to figure out how you can potentially create more luck, more opportunity in your life, just realize that if you draw a quick 1-quadrant graph, an X and Y axis, and you sketch out, if you know a lot of people and you don't do much stuff and you're not leveraging those relationships and just catching up with people, then you're not going to have necessarily a lot of opportunity that's present. So go meet a lot of people, go catch up with friends, go do a lot of stuff and try it one time. If it stinks, you don't do it again. And just create more luck in your life, because you never know if your old buddy from a campus ministry is going to say that you sell the best weed, or that you're going to wake up and find a business owner on a couch. You never know.
Never know.
So, Yeah, this was great. I had a blast and looking forward to more stuff like this. And if you can get involved or we can help in any way, please reach out and we'll catch you soon.
Yeah. No, you promised.
You promised.
If people email you.
I did. Yeah. Anybody who emails the letter G at awesomeinc.org, you're going to get a cup of coffee. And I've realized my wallet's getting thin from the last couple episodes. So I'm going to keep this up. This is nice.
Good.
All right, y'all. Keep being awesome and let us know what your favorite core value is. Either being good, being excellent, being a friend, or being you. Adios.
Peace.
Well, that's it, guys. Thank you so much for checking out this episode of Awesome Inc.'s podcast. And another quick thank you to Lee Rosevere and a few members from our community who provide the music that you hear in this show. Lastly, give us a follow on Instagram, Facebook, all that jazz. Or even better, come on down to our space. Come be a part of our community and get plugged in, and let's start something awesome together. You guys rock. We'll see you next time.